What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and right now we're going to jump right back into the ability situation again. Some of you guys were asking about, yo, Gmia, what's the plan with these abilities? I gotta have 11 AP on my quarterback because I can't throw the ball without Gunslinger. Although Derrick Henry has a very, very good release, it's pretty, it's so disgusting and pretty ridiculous that EA Sports makes him so unusable without Gunslinger. Like, he takes forever to throw the damn ball. So the big issue that we have right now is this. We would have to manipulate the team in a way where we would have to have 2 deep outs, right? But we would not be able to make any kind of changes with the tight end position. So what that means is we would only be able to throw drag routes. Unless there were plays that already have a built-in crosser, we would be pretty much done. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to go over what I'm talking about. The problem is we won't have any use for Calvin, because Calvin can't play because we would have to split the tight end apprentice with Randy Moss and make it work like that. So I'm going to show you guys the adjustments right now. What you would have to do, you would have to pretty much take this off of him. You can leave you know, that the actual Superstar X Factor on him and just let him rock like that. But like I said, this is a very, very dangerous thing that I'm doing. I wouldn't recommend it ever. But again, we have noticed a lot of the differences in the game due to not having Gunslinger. So that's a major factor. Here goes where the sacrifice comes in, right? You're gonna have, like I said, you can't have the tight end apprentice. So what has to happen is we actually have to take off what Cordell Patterson has, which is the backfield master, to kind of help him with the wheel routes when you throw it into quadruple coverage. It's a pro read, dude. Just make a wheel route and just throw it. Close your eyes, just throw it, dude. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be all right. So look, you see how we are at 14 of 14? You know, everything is looking good. It's not, though, because you need 2 players that can moss. So what we could do is this. We could separate it. So we take the tight end apprentice off, right? Then we go ahead. Jared Cook would probably always be in the inside for the most part, so we would give him deep in. Okay? He would get that, and then what will happen is we have to also give Randito Moss deep in. Well, yeah, because he's, you know, obviously he's a deep threat, so he gets it for 1. So now we have the players. No, he gets deep out. Deep out is what I meant. He's going to be an outside receiver. So now Calvin, although Calvin is a beast, and he actually clutched up for us and we won games because of him, we actually have to bench him. So with benching him, we got to take off that ability, the X Factor, and we got to give it to Randito Moss. Now, the 3 players we're going to be using is Randy Moss, Jared Cookington, and Darren Wallerson, right? So that gives us the opportunity to come out, have a crazy offense, right? Because we can moss with Randy, Darren Waller, and Jared Cook. They all have abilities. And then we also give Derrick Henry Escape Artist. And it usually, you know, it's probably going to work out for us. Number 2, what we're looking at right now, inside stuff has to go. I've been run amok, like we're taken aback, bamboozled, like, dude, it's been disgusting. So we just need to take that off of him. And what we're going to do, instead of giving LT just unpredictable, we're going to now give him what is that? Under pressure. All right. So that way we know we're going to be able to get some errant throws, which will result usually in a pick. Because they'll just throw, like, if we get enough pressure on the players, they'll usually just throw the ball right to you. And that's pretty much it right there for that. Now, one of the more interesting things that we have to focus on is why I've gone acrobat crazy. Yo, G, it doesn't work. We watched you on stream get Moss. What's the deal? All those things that you're saying are true. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty much it's like, yo, you're right. The problem is this, right? When somebody comes out and they're running hitch routes, or it's like a real dedicated goal line situation, it's very, very difficult for me to argue against acrobat. Because although the ability is very, like, it doesn't really work all the time, in the red zone, it actually goes crazy. So that creates a major, major issue overall for your team, because you're able to do so much more because you have acrobat. And they will give you clutch picks randomly. Now, would it make sense to have 2 flat zones and then 2 acrobats, you know, on the outside? The problem is this, right? If you go flat zone the way I was going flat zone before, when they just don't play anything, you're just done. If you have acrobat and the ball is anywhere around the area, there's a chance that they may glitch out and dive and do stuff. That's the only difference. There's nothing else really going on. Like, if you look at everything that we're doing, it's not rocket science. It's the fact that the game is not consistent, and we don't know what's going to consistently work. So what do? We go with the most reasonable ability, which is acrobat. Because what happens with acrobat, if somebody's throwing a post route, right, the ball's going to get thrown through your body. You're not going to be able to deal with that. The ball's going to get thrown through your body. But if they're running like regular routes, or their hitches, or like a quick drag route and stuff like that, they'll always animate, and the game will cheat because you have acrobat. If you go back to the flat zone that we were running before just to get the incomplete passes, you're gonna give up a lot more scores because now they're actually catching the ball. All right, so because they're actually catching it, it's becoming a little bit more dangerous. So I would recommend the two under pressures and everybody else acrobat, and your user has to have pick artists. And pick artist doesn't really work, but hey, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, what are we gonna do? None of that really matters. Now, as far as executing it on the field, this is the way I'm running it, right? If you don't have the ability to put together a team that has deep threats, that can give you the deep outs and stuff like that for one, you're gonna have to find a way to do that. There's literally nothing else I can do for you. All I can do is let you guys know how I'm approaching it. Now, gain 70 yards in the first half. All right, so we got to rush for 15 yards first, and then we'll throw a streak. But I'm going to show you guys the way that you should probably run it if you were going to run it with this personnel, now that we've changed everything up. So I was running iPro. I realized that doesn't really do anything. So we're going to go back to Trey, right? And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put Jared Cook at the regular tight end position, Darren Waller outside. We'll leave him right okay, no. We actually got to put Randito Moss right here, and then we'll leave the other guy there. We'll leave Devin Hesterson in the middle. So now we have 2 Moss actions we can run. All right, well, actually 3, but we have to get 15 yards in 3 plays. So let's go ahead and do that first. See if we get some yards, and then I'm gonna throw a streak, and just trying to give you guys the insight into what I'm trying to do, because there's really nothing else we can do about the situation. But also remember, when you hurry up offense, I didn't need to do it like this, but when you hurry up offense or switch the play, they move them back. All right, so that's fine. You can also do this. So now we're gonna have the streaks, and then you can also streak Randy Moss if you want, right? Any of the players that you streaked, they're gonna have a better chance of being able to go ahead and moss somebody. Okay, so those. Why do we only have 60? Are they serious? Why is that? Why is it 1 yard off? Why would EA do that? But I want you guys to see the difference, not only in the speed of the throw, but the fact that we have a setup where we can do what we just did. Are they gonna count this as yards or no? Let me see what they do. They might not count it as yards. Yep, they didn't count it as yards. GG's. All right, so that's the offensive side of it, how we're going to utilize it. But now, again, we can't make crossers. We can only make drag routes, right? So keep that in mind, or in routes. And that might benefit us a little bit because the way everybody defends us, because we're always running a crosser, they'll have to adjust to the drag and give up the over-the-top play. Now, defensively, we removed the inside stuff, which you guys saw, right? So we only have the 2 outside players doing what they do. And then we're going to run the same 4-3-6-1 and try to get some stops real quick and then throw for 1 yard and be done. I don't know why they have it set up like that to where it's 1 yard, but it's probably just to screw us over, but whatever. All right, so there we go. We just got to get a stop real quick. Shouldn't be a problem against the CPU, but this is the way ultimately you run it. All right, 2 under pressures and, the acrobats. And then, look, the game's going to do what it's going to do anyway. It doesn't really matter, bro. And if they throw the ball anywhere near your players, there's a chance, a very, very slim chance, but there's a chance they'll do something. If you only have flat zone KO, you're going to get dealt with. That's a promise. All right, so just always... Okay, so what does he do? Okay, just sack him. All right, so now what we'll do is as soon as they kick it off, we'll just go ahead and throw another drag, but you guys pretty much understand the assessment of the abilities, how we're using it. Unfortunately for Calvin, we can't utilize him simply because he's too much AP. And you guys are going to have to make that same decision. Until they raise the AP, there's really nothing you can do about it. You just got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to chalk it up. Like, yo, Calvin, dude, you're way too much as a physical archetype. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm going to have to get rid of you, dude. And he understands. Don't get me wrong. Calvin understands the process in which we're moving, but It's hard for him because he thought he was going to always be a star. He's done. And that's point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Throw the dot, that's game. All right, and that's pretty much it for you guys. So that's what we have going on right now. I'm going to leave you guys with that. You guys figure out the way you want to rock your abilities, but I think that that's the safest way to do it. I could not deal with Pass Lead Elite. I had to go back to Gunslinger. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Hopefully you have an unbelievable day. Until next time, one love, y'all.